Hello, I'm Brigitte Parvin here with Studio B Yoga, and I'm here with my special friend Karen Barbarick, who is the founder of Bending Blade Yoga, formerly Dreamtime Yoga.
That's right.
We've covered a lot in our videos, and this is a really good run with walking through what will be being taught. And today I wanted to ask Karen more about yoga asanas.
Video, we mentioned that it was really one of the practices that we do to satisfy our fire element, that part of us that wants to do and constantly be moving or constantly be thinking. So the asana practice is more than just that. The asana practice, the main reason, it's actually very simple too, by the way, is to keep, for as long as we can maintain our health in our life, keep functionality of all of our limbs, of all of the movement, of all of our anatomy healthy for a longer period of time. So like if you are an athlete or you like to go on hikes or maybe just getting up and down from a chair to standing, or you've broken a hip before or something like that, you want to do like a physical therapy. Physical therapy is, part of keeping the body structure healthy and maintenance free and functional. So that's really the reason why we do yoga asana. And with the Bending Blade Yoga and this level 1 teacher training program, which is the 200 hours, it's really, we're staying with more of the classical poses. Classical poses meaning what is going to maintain our upright position. We do have some inversions we're going to be doing, which is good for, let's say, if you have a lot of congestion or if you want to get more energy up into the brain. It's really good for that, but not necessarily good for somebody, for example, that has a heart condition, so it wouldn't be functional for somebody like that. Or let's say somebody has had a torn rotator cuff and, maybe lots of planks and chaturangas or handstands isn't so functional for somebody like that. So we're going to be sticking with the sun salutations, lunges. Lunges are wonderful for releasing the psoas muscle. And the psoas muscle is considered the largest muscle, the oldest muscle, and the emotional muscle of the body. So as we age, particularly for 55 years old and older, the psoas muscle, if you're not using it or if you've had injuries, really does begin to atrophy. So, or if you're a dancer or if you sit in a car for long periods of time driving, this is an important muscle to stretch and release the emotions that get stored in it. So lunges and warrior poses and bridge poses, things like that are really good. And then some other poses, for example, the hip opening pose like pigeon pose. Wonderful pose for releasing the fight or flight response in our system. And the fight or flight response, it's really interesting because as a human species, pretty much across the board, most people are in a state of hypnosis where they're kind of stuck in a fight or flight reality, which if you're in fight or flight, if you're in fear, if you're in worry, if you're stuck on your survival needs, food, shelter, safety, things of that nature. And we don't necessarily need to be, but we're kind of addicted to it, right? I know I am. Yes. I have to stop myself when I get that kind of crazy thinking that's going on. So that's why we like to relieve the hips and the whole pelvic cavity, because what happens when we're in this state of the sympathetic nervous system in fight or flight, we do like lockdown, everything like it's really tight.
Yes, like a warning signal to the body, brace yourself. It isn't locked in.
Have you ever noticed maybe you're doing your hair in the morning or putting your makeup on and like your glutes are like solid. They're like holding on and you're like, what are you doing? Relax a little bit. So this is an addictive state, actually. So the nice thing about what asana does is it clears a lot of the fight or flight that's just lodged in us. So for example, if there's been a trauma in your life at some point, particularly when we're younger, it stays in the body. It stays in the hips. And when we do yoga and we do the asanas, oftentimes people will have an emotional release because they'll remember maybe a car accident, or maybe they got bit by a dog, or maybe they heard their parents fighting, or who knows what the trauma was, but it got lodged in the area of the pelvic cavity, in the area of the hips, and we start doing some of these poses, and then your whole nervous system can actually be freed from that holding pattern, which we avoid pain and want to move toward pleasure, right? And as we know with the law of attraction, that doesn't necessarily work. Both things are going on. We want to be more of a neutral mind. So what the yoga asanas do is it gets us in a state of relaxation. And it gives the whole body a break. It clears out this old baggage that's just kind of lodged in there, and allows more room for us to channel more of ourselves. So more of my being, more of your being can become present in life. And then we're not manifesting from things in the past or fears of the future. So that's pretty much why we do the yoga. Hatha means the sun and the moon. Ha means sun and Tha means moon. And Hatha Yoga Asana is really taking the sun, which is up here, and the moon, which is down at the base of the spine, and creating harmony between sort of our past and our bright future, and getting present in this moment with everything being possible. That's like living in the and, so that everything can be possible rather than living in a black and white world, which it's either this way and you can go very deep in some of the most basic poses, like staff pose, which is your legs straight out and your spine nice and straight, and you breathe with it and you work with it, and it will clear the nervous system. That's the main thing with the yoga asana practice, with the breathing practice, with all of it.
It sounds wonderful.
Yeah.